Look at this headline. Look at the headline of this article. Sore winner Johnny Depp appeals $2 million granted to Amber Heard in defamation trial. Sore winner? This is the fucking media, right? Like, well, Johnny Depp, he won, so he won his 10 million, so he should just take the 2 million. No, he shouldn't. He shouldn't take the 2 million. What the fuck kind of craziness is this? But yet here we are. Amber Heard, Johnny Depp. The trial that never ends continues to never end. Johnny Depp was the clear winner of his U.S. defamation trial against ex-wife Amber Heard. Not only in a legal sense, the jury awarded him $10.4 million, but also in a cultural sense. He's being propped up by Hollywood. Listen to the language. Listen to the language, how fucking mad they are. They're so fucking mad. Again, and as fans everywhere villainizing Heard, listen to the language. Johnny Depp is now the oppressor. These people never thought that he was not guilty. They thought he was guilty because she said so. Because a woman spoke, Johnny Depp was guilty. Not content with that resounding victory, Depp has now filed an appeal for the comparatively paltry $2 million granted to Heard in her countersuit. Listen to that. Listen to that idea. Well, it's only $2 million. He was awarded $10 million. He should just fucking take it. It's just $2 million. It's just $2 million. It's a paltry sum compared to his 10 million. No, fuck you. Literally fuck you people. This court should reverse the judgment on Ms. Heard's counterclaim as to April 27 Waldman statement, but should otherwise affirm the judgment in Mr. Depp's favor, reads the actor's latest filing in Virginia's Court of Appeals per deadline. Of course it does. It's the correct thing to do. The $2 million judgment is not supported by facts or law, period. They clearly gave that $2 million judgment as a compromise to the one holdout. Fine, we'll fucking do anything. These people are still simping. They're still simping for Amber Heard. Amber Heard needs to end up as a fucking toilet. She needs to go on OnlyFans and put that ass up for rent. Because that's all she's got. She's never been a good actress. She's always been propped up by Johnny Depp's fame. And then she tried to turn the fucking tides, put the cards in her favor, ruin a successful man's life with lies, which she did, by the way, and then turn that into publicity for her to promote her shit performance in Aquaman. Pray for an Aquaman 2 and 3 that she was in. Are we fucking kidding me? This is the quintessential female privilege. I will ride the trailing dick of a man. And then I will fuck him in the ass, send him packing, and take all his success for my own. Because I am woman. Not because I'm talented. Not because I have a gift. Not because I did something special or useful. Solely because I have a vagina and he must be a monster because he's a man. And so many fucking simps will just deal with it. That was her entire plan. Now it backfired. She shot too high. She shot too fucking high. If she had done this to anyone lower than Johnny Depp, imagine what she could have done. Imagine the damage she could have done to anybody else. Fuck Amber Heard. But no one wants to. The appeal filed by Depp's lawyer, Ben Chu and Camille Vasquez, decries the judgment in Mr. Heard's favor as erroneous, claiming even if the court were to conclude that Mr. Depp could be held liable for Mr. Waldman's allegedly tortious conduct, which he should not be. They didn't prove the fucking facts. and they did not link the law of agency in this case to the facts of this case. They didn't have any testimony, and they could have. They didn't have any testimony that Waldman acted or in the employment and interest of Johnny Depp as an agent. They didn't do it. They could have tried, and they fucking didn't. The trial court nonetheless erred in denying Mr. Depp's motion for summary judgment and motion to strike because Ms. Heard failed to present evidence to establish one of the required elements of defamation. Specifically, Ms. Heard failed to present evidence that Mr. Waldman acted with actual malice when he made the April 27th statement. Maybe. I also think they failed to show the agency relationship. They never fucking did. They never showed that Adam Waldman made those comments in his professional capacity, which would have been easy to do, by the way. All you had to do was call any witness. This is a crazy thing for just a prima facie showing. So we have to get to a motion to dismiss. All right? Because that's what this is about. This is about a motion to dismiss. This is legal gamesmanship. Here, I'm going to drunk law explain to you at the highest fucking level. Let's get bigger. The court followed a procedure here. The question was summary judgment motion and a motion to strike. So here's how this works. Something happens and you request a summary judgment motion. We'll tackle this one first. Now, a summary judgment motion says all of the facts in this case that have been presented at present are read in favor of the non-moving party. So if I move for summary judgment as attorney for Johnny Depp, every fact of the case is read in favor of Amber Heard. And all Amber Heard needs to do is make a prima facie, on the face of it, showing of the basic elements of the claim. They're alleging that Amber Heard failed to make an on the face of it argument and factual representation of the element of actual malice from defamation on her claim that Adam Waldman defamed her and therefore Johnny Depp defamed her as his agent. Actual malice is where someone acts with reckless disregard for the truth or actual knowledge of the falsity. It is one of the things that consistently makes defamation of a public figure so fucking hard, because actual malice requires some sort of manifestation of either knowledge of the falsity. I know I'm lying. Literally, a tweet, a text, someone testifying, I know I am lying. Or reckless disregard for the truth. Now, reckless disregard seems easy. It seems easy to say anyone could have found this, but that's not the standard. The standard is, what basic standard practices do you have when you speak? If we're talking about a journalistic operation, for example, let's say they require 2 sources to verify any assertion. If they only use one source, then they have created a standard of 2 sources, and they have failed to meet that standard by using one. If they're not a journalistic operation, it's just a reasonable person standard, which means would any normal, similarly situated person find a possibility this is true? Here's the crazy thing. Amber Heard didn't provide either of those things. She did not provide evidence of actual malice of Waldman. In fact, all of the evidence about Waldman is actually in the contrary capacity. Waldman seemed to genuinely believe that Amber Heard was lying about Johnny Depp from jump. He acted in a way that suggested that he believed that she was lying about Johnny Depp from jump. He contacted the police. He brought a huge case file to the police department. He said, hey, this might help your investigation. None of this shit is real. All of this shit is false. That's what Waldman did. I would add, and maybe they do, I haven't read the appeal document, but let's ignore that for a second and say, I would add to the appeal that Amber Heard failed to provide any evidence of an agency relationship between Johnny Depp and Adam Waldman. And by the way, there absolutely was obviously an agency relationship between Johnny Depp and Adam Waldman in general. I don't know if it applied to this particular thing at this particular time. And the reason I don't know that is because Amber Heard and her team failed to lock down the most basic agency argument that exists, which is Johnny Depp had a contract with Adam Waldman. Adam Waldman spoke on behalf of Johnny Depp. And more importantly, element 3, this is the deep law. This is the deep law. Okay. Are you ready for this? This is all they had to do. Number 3, would a reasonable person encountering Adam Waldman on this issue at this time reasonably believe that Johnny Depp had hired him and directed him to do this thing? Now, let me just say it. Of fucking course, Adam Waldman was acting as an agent of Johnny Depp. Where in the trial did they bring the witness? Which all they'd have to do is bring the cop. Literally, all they have to do is call the fucking cop or have an affidavit. One of those two things. And they say, did you, when Adam Waldman reported this, believe he was acting on behalf and in the employ of Johnny Depp? That's it. That's it. They didn't bring a cop to say it. They didn't bring another witness to say it. They didn't bring anyone to say, actually, I believe that Adam Waldman was acting as a hired agent for Johnny Depp at this point. It's all they had to do. I don't know if they put that in their appeal. I would. I absolutely would. And I'm fucking trash, but I believe this when I'm sober. It's crazy what the standard is versus what courts do. And this fucking cunt wants courts to not do. They wanted them to not do it. Here we go. Ms. Heard presented no evidence at trial. Mr. Depp was personally involved in directing or making the Waldman statements. Oh, perfect. It was just a product of the Yahoo article. They actually do say this. No evidence presented at trial of, in brackets, of an agency relationship, which is the critical element here. You have to prove it. You have to prove everything in court. It can be obvious. It doesn't matter. If it's not in evidence, it never fucking happened. Guys, you can walk up and shoot 9 people in the back of the head. But if government can't prove that you shot 9 people in the back of the head, if all they can do is show you evidence of their funeral, if all they can do is show you evidence that they're dead, then you didn't shoot 9 people according to the court. Instead, she chose to pursue a pure vicarious liability claim against Mr. Depp, contending that he was liable for Mr. Waldman's allegedly defamatory statement simply because Mr. Waldman was his attorney, which is not how it works. Heard, who presented evidence in a similar UK libel case, wherein a judge found the labeling of Depp as a wife beater to be substantially true. This is not a similar UK libel case, is not at all similar. This is a fucking lie. I fucking hate this. The UK and the US are not the same. Stop pretending that freedom of speech is real in England. And if any of you English motherfuckers want to say, Oh, yeah, we have freedom of speech, y'all. Yeah, fuck you. No, you don't. No, you don't. And you haven't for decades. Because your fucking parliament cannot be bound by a prior act of parliament, and they can't be bothered to routinely protect speech. England has been ass fucked on speech forever. Fuck you. You are not America. Stop pretending that you're a Western culture, England. You're not. You're a 1.5 Eastern culture. You have a bunch of maniacal fucking tyrants, and you still recognize a goddamn cuckold monarchy. You weirdos. You weirdos. You let these people run your lives and steal your money. There's no such thing as freedom of speech in the UK. Anyway, Heard, who presented evidence in a similar UK libel case, it's not similar at all, wherein a judge found the labeling of Depp as a white beater to be substantially true based on 12 of 14 examined incidents that they did not get to present counter evidence to because, quote unquote, Amber Heard was a victim, therefore we can't attack her credibility. It was so fucking silly. It was so fucking silly. In the US, Amber Heard's credibility was on trial. That was the key element of Johnny Depp versus Amber Heard. And if you don't understand that, go back and watch my coverage of the case. Amber Heard's credibility was put on trial and no one believed her. The jury didn't believe her. The audience didn't believe her. No one believed her. In the UK, she was allowed to literally testify behind closed doors. Behind closed doors. They could not see her body language, couldn't effectively cross-examine her. They weren't allowed to challenge her truthfulness. Johnny Depp lost. When he came to the US, what happened? Everybody got to challenge her truthfulness. Everybody got to see her in public. Did anybody believe her? No. Nobody believed her. Of course not. She wasn't credible. She came across as a liar. Has also indicated plans to appeal the Virginia verdict. Depp's latest filing seems to continue his promise of total global humiliation. No, that was something said in anger. But what he's doing is just justice. Johnny Depp does not owe Amber Heard $2 million for the statements of Adam Waldman. Adam Waldman may owe Amber Heard some amount. I don't believe he does. This is not a fact-based decision. This is a compromise decision. Someone didn't want to award Johnny Depp money. They said, what if we give Amber Heard something? And they said, I guess I'm okay with that. I just feel like she was wronged. And so I want her to win something. That's what they did. Total global humiliation for his ex, something she spoke to following the U.S. trial. I know he promised it. I testified to this, she said at the time. I'm not a good victim. I get it. I'm not a likable victim. I'm not a perfect victim. You're not a victim at all. You're a fucking abusive. But when I testified, I asked the jury to just see me as a human and to hear his own words, which is a promise to do this. It feels as though he has more from the AV club. That's it. It's not actually more from the AV club. It's actually done. Here you have it, guys. Mary Kate Carr. So that's Johnny Depp. So pour out another bag of bow, more of the Freud. Spirits flow as the ones who get unemployed. So pour out a glass for the tea, post on Twitter as we hear Lost Blaming tonight. From the white shores of Nan to the hills of Glenlivet, there's no one who explains the thought better than Nick. So pour out a glass for the ones who have